Hi, I'm Danielle Sherry. I'm an assistant editor at Fine Gardening Magazine, and today we're going to build an inexpensive rain barrel. It basically composed of 3 different steps. The first step is installing the faucet. The second step is installing an overflow up at the top of the barrel. And the third step is to cut a hole and put screening over the top so you keep out any debris from your rainwater. So obviously the first thing that you need for constructing your rain barrel is a watertight container. I recommend looking in the yellow pages under containers. You can find lots of wholesale distributors and they'll be willing to give you a relatively inexpensive watertight container. Otherwise you can try a local hardware store or discount store. The first step today is that we're going to attach the faucet component, and that's going to be located approximately 1 inch from the bottom of the barrel. And you're going to need quite a few tools for this. You're going to need a tube of silicone, a 1-inch washer, a 3/4 inch coupling, and it's a female coupling, a 3/4 inch hose bib, and you're going to have a male faucet. You're going to need a 15th, 16th inch spade bit, and you're going to need an electrical power drill. So now let's drill a hole. So anytime that you're cutting into anything with a saw, you should really wear safety goggles, and especially with the plastic because it tends to throw little chunks in every direction. We're going to run a little bit of waterproof silicone around the outside of this washer before we place it over the hole and put the faucet on there. This is really just to make sure that everything stays exceptionally watertight. It doesn't have to be that much, but just run a pretty good bead around the outside. And take the faucet, and this is going to take a little bit of work, but you just kind of keep screwing it in until you get it pretty snug to the barrel. Now it's really important not to point the faucet directly towards what would be the ground. You want to have it a little bit off to the side. It just makes it easier for you to get your hose to it if you need to attach a hose or even to sneak a bucket up underneath it. Alright, so now comes the really fun part. We have to get this coupling on the other end of the faucet just to lock everything up nice and tight. So you get to crawl inside the barrel and put the coupling on. If you have somebody else to help you out and have a hand on the other side, that would be good too, but oh, nice and tight. And so the water is going to gather up and flow right out here to the faucet. All right, so the next step is going to be to put in our overflow outlet. You're going to need a 2¼ inch hole saw, the 1¼ inch elbow. We got this from the plumbing supply department just in a local hardware store. And the last thing that you're going to need, this is a sump pump kit. So we're going to put this overflow hole about 1 inch from the top of the barrel. And this is just in case you get too much rain into the barrel, you can have this overflow divert it away from your house. This is a 1¼ inch barb with a 1½ inch male end to it. So attach the barb. It fits rather loosely inside the hole that we just drilled. So we'll run a bead of silicone around the outside. This isn't going to be a particularly tight fit. It's because there's no pressure on this fitting and this overflow. It's just there in case things get a little bit too heavy inside the barrel and the water will flow right out. So this is a 1½ inch female PVC elbow, and we're just going to attach that on the inside of this barb and lock it down. Out of our sump pump kit, there's some flexible tubing, and this is just attached to the barb, and we're going to lock it down with a clamp, and you run the tube as far away from the house as you need to, just so it doesn't leak all over your foundation if your rain barrel ever overflows. So the final step is we're going to put the top back on the barrel, like so. We're going to get our jigsaw ready, our electric jigsaw, and we're going to cut a hole in the top, and this is where your gutter is going to spill into. It's easiest if you can get a starter hole going, and we're just going to poke a little bit of a hole into the top of the barrel. So we're going to take our jigsaw now, and we're going to cut out a pretty good sized chunk in the top of the barrel. So the next step is to take the top off that we just cut a hole in, and we're taking this window screening, which is just replacement screen from the local hardware store. We're going to run it across the top. We're going to secure it just like so. And this is really just to hold it in place so you can get the top back on. So then take the top and the top is going to go right back over and lock down. So that, again, that's just so your gutter is going to flow right into this spot right here, and this screening on the top keeps out any mosquitoes so they don't lay any eggs or larvae in the rainwater, and it also keeps out all the debris as well. So we're going to just take the scissors, we're going to cut off this excess screening around the outside, and we'll be done.